Which shoe is better to hoop in? The Adidas Trae Young 1 or the Nike PG5? Today we're putting Trae Young and Paul George's most recent signature shoes head to head to see how they compare. But really quick, if this is your first time checking us out, feel free to drop a follow or subscribe wherever you're watching and give this video a like. We would greatly appreciate that. So starting off with the box and the price, the Trae Young ones are going to come in a white box with some text that says, "Always remember when they doubted you," with his signature underneath. And that's just kind of a mindset that he likes to keep whenever he's playing. It's not, the most flashy look, but it's also more than just like, taking a player logo and just blowing it up. So, that's what most shoes are going to get. But now looking at the PG5s, they're going to come in a gray box with a camel design that's also going to show up in a small patch of the shoes. But as for pricing, Trae's first signature shoe is going to be pretty expensive for a first shoe. It's going to retail for $140. Most lines do, start cheaper than that, but these do have a few pieces on there that kind of explain why. That is going to be $30 more than the PG5s, which are going to retail for only $110. That's just a little bit weird because PG's on his fifth signature shoe compared to Trae being on his first. Different brands kind of handle these things differently though. Overall $140 is still going to be on the middle to lower end for Trae's shoe. So checking out the appearance for these shoes and starting off with the colorways, today we have the Adidas Trae Young 1 Ice Trae versus the Nike PG5 Wolf Gray. So looking at Trae's shoe first, this is the Ice Trae color scheme, which is his nickname for anyone who doesn't know, because Trae is a stone cold killer, especially in the clutch. Aside from his recent struggles in this, past postseason, dude's still really young though. But along with this color scheme, you're gonna get that icy polar bear that's on the heel, which is a pretty sick look, and then you're gonna get that light blue upper, which is so nice. I'm a Tar Heel fan, so that's always gonna check out for me. And we did a pretty fun intro on this shoe if you want to go and check that out whenever we reviewed them. Obviously after this video, of course. But some other nice touches on here would be Trae's player logo that's gonna show up on the tongue for the right shoe. Then you also have some patches over the laces that are gonna remind me a little bit over that Air Jordan 6 model. Obviously it's kind of cross branding, but they are also going to get only 2 lacing holes for this shoe, not the full lacing setup. And Trae Young played a lot in the Adidas Next Level before getting his own shoe line, so that shoe had 0 laces. I guess it's not all that surprising that it's not going to be that traditional lacing setup. But the midsole is also going to have 3 loops kind of built in. That sort of reminds me of the Adidas trefoil logo. I'm not sure if that was meant to be tied in or not, but definitely a clean look for this model. But now switching it over to look at the PG5s, this is going to be a clear difference between the PG4 would be that, Nike did take away that zipper that ran up the middle of that PG4 model. Honestly, I really did like that because without the zipper, these are going to get more of a simple look. But in between those white overlays, you're going to get that gray camo pattern that's featured on the box, like I mentioned. And also, I really do like that little Nike Air piece that they worked into the midsole. Thought that was a nice touch. But aside from those pieces, there really isn't anything going on with the shoe. At least not too much as far as the appearance goes. It's going to really catch your eye. It's going to be a little bit more basic. So now let's go ahead and see how both of these shoes hold up on the court. For the materials and support, the Trae Young 1 is actually going to get some higher quality or just like some premium touches. You get a suede-like material that shows up on the blue overlays above the midsole, near the toe box, kind of around the heel, and then also on that patch that's running over the laces. And some people like that premium stuff and feel, other people don't really need it. And that can be part of the reason why shoes get more expensive, because like I was saying, this is going to be sort of a high-priced shoe for a first signature shoe line. I think only Kawhi Leonard has a higher starting price to a line at $160 with New Balance. But the textiles are going to make up the rest of this upper. And for the support, like I said, you're only going to get those 2 lacing holes for this shoe. And it is also going to be more of a sock-like fit with the tongue kind of built into the design. So, the support, honestly, it could be better. I haven't really struggled with heel slippage or anything like that. But with this being a low-top design and lacking that traditional lacing setup, support's just obviously not going to be the highlight on this shoe. But the midsole does run up a little bit. And that does help with your lateral containment though. So, now looking at the PG5s, this is going to be a cheaper model, so you're not going to see any of those premium touches on here, but you're going to get some cheaper textiles that do help keep this shoe light. The support is also going to be solid on this design. You'll see a few white patches on top of the midsole that kind of run up the shoe, and that's going to help with your lateral containment. And you're also going to get a small outrigger on this model as well, which just helps brace your foot and gives you a wider base to help with the balance. And all of that is going to lead to this shoe staying super light, even with those pieces on the PG5. A size 10.5 only weighs 370 grams, and the Trae Young 1 is going to be a little bit higher at 442 grams, which still puts them on the lighter side, which is clearly not as light as the PG5s, and you can feel a little bit of a difference there whenever you're playing in both of these models. So now zeroing in on more of the performance side and starting off with the cushioning, this is definitely the selling point on the Trae Young 1. They get a traditional light strike midsole that's going to be paired with some additional boost cushioning in like a hockey puck form that's positioned in the back of the shoe, kind of underneath the heel, and that's just going to add to an already soft feel. The cushioning is likely part of the reason that these get a higher-ish retail price, but they give you a really balanced cushioning feel just throughout the entire shoe, and it offers a soft feel to play in. Pretty much zero breaking time is going to be required on these, so I did love all of that. But now looking at the PG5, these get a full-length air dot strobel that feels like you're walking on a cloud. I mean, Nike actually put that in their bio for these, and I have nothing to argue with there. They have a memory foam insole that's also going to conform to your foot over time, just like some previous Kobe models would use. And the Trae Young ones, I mean, just like the Trae Young ones, sorry. I mean, they shouldn't really require any like break-in time. They're pretty much soft from the jump, and they handle impact protection whenever you're landing from your jumps. I mean, really well there, so you're going to be covered. It's going to be definitely two of the softer models to play in on the market right now, so that part's really nice. So to finish off with traction, the Trae Young 1 has a pretty ideal traction pattern setup with that herringbone in the front along with the radial in the back, but they just don't really perform up to the standards that I was expecting. Normally those designs play really great, but they just collect dust way too easily and they just don't have a ton of grip in general. I feel like I'm sliding around more than they should. They're just a little too inconsistent for me to play in. But for the PG5s, this is yet another strong area on this model. The traction pattern is actually stripped straight from the bottom of the Kobe 9s. It's meant to resemble like the human foot. And I mean, just like the cushioning, it's going to be similar to Kobe's line. I guess Nike did pull a few things from those Kobe models and they put them on this design here, which is a major plus if anyone's, played in Kobe's line before. But they played really well, like I was saying. And unlike the Trae Young ones, they do have a more consistent playing feel. The grip is really good on any type of movement from what I've noticed. And at first I thought the cushioning was going to be the selling point on the PG5, but I mean, honestly, the traction is right there with it. But to finish off with sizing, I did go true to size on both of these models, and that actually worked out perfect for me. Both of these shoes are going to run regularly long and wide. So for the final ratings and starting off with the appearance, like I said, the PG5s look good, but they are simple. But I really love the look for Trae's first shoe, so I'm going to start off going with the Trae Young 1. Looking at cushioning, both of these shoes are really soft. It's the best part about the Trae Young 1, and it's easily one of the best parts about the PG5. So I'm just going to go with the tie here. And then for the materials, the Trae Young 1 is going to get a higher retail price. And along with that, you can tell that just the quality of the materials is a step above the PG5s. So I'm going to go with the Trae Young 1s here. The support does lack a little bit on that model though, thanks to the only two lacing holes as for like the lacing setup, and you're gonna have a sock-like fit. I mean, the PG5s, they just perform really well for the support thanks to those white pieces on the midsole kind of along with that outrigger. So the PG5 is going to take the support section, and I'm going to stay with the PG5s for the traction. I mean, there's some really nice bite compared to the Trae Young 1s, which is just, average at best for the traction. And that is going to lead to me going with the Nike PG5 as the better shoe to group in. And this is pretty close. The traction is the main spot where the separation was created. I just love the PG5 though. I mean, there really isn't a bad element to that shoe, and it's mad cheap. For $140, I would like to see the Trae Young 1 just clean up a few categories such as like the support and the traction, but overall it still is a nice shoe to play in. Thank you guys for taking some time to watch. If you want to buy the Nike PG5, just click the link here on screen, or we have links for both shoes down below or in our bio, so feel free to check that out. But until next review, I'm Landon from Shoewear. Peace.